I feel you, man. You have all of this interest and all of this thing that you're passionate that you want to find time for, working out, following your artistic interest, and at the same time trying to find time for your friends, for your family, for your loved ones. It's very difficult to put all of these things together. We have only 24 hours in a day, only 7 days in a week. How we are supposed to do that and at the same time sleep and eat? Okay, it's very difficult. And even if you find time for everything, how can you have the energy to accomplish all of these goals? Who am I? My name is Stanislav. I work as a physical therapist 30 hours a week. I also train judo kinda every day, and at the same time, I do 2 sessions of strength and conditioning every week. Also, I take acting classes, and I'm trying to run a successful podcast on YouTube or YouTube channel. Maybe it will become more a YouTube channel than a true podcast. And when I was a student, I was actually doing all of the shit that I'm currently doing, and I was also writing down my thesis, and I was competing and cutting weight at the same time. So I managed to put all of this shit together with a very efficient time management schedule, and it was important, it was essential for me to manage my time properly. Otherwise I wouldn't even survive to that period of my life. So today what I'm going to do is to guide you from a messy, disorganized and inefficient schedule to a organized, efficient, harmonic and fulfilling life that you will find meaningful and that you will enjoy living. Step number one is to becoming aware of what you spend your time on during the week. Honestly, most of the people spend a lot of time on bullshit that are not aligned with their goals, like doom scrolling, playing video games, spending time doing meaningless tasks that are not aligned with what they want to achieve, like snacking or watching shows and consuming mindless content like this. No, this is not mindless content. This will help you actually. And all of these things are black holes for your time and attention. We think that usually we don't have time, but that's a distorted vision of reality, because when you actually become aware of what you're spending your time on, you really understand that it's not that you don't have time, but you're not currently investing energy to use your time in an intentional manner. Once you become aware of what you spend your time on, it will become easier to find it for things that are actually important to you. I made a Word file that you can find in the description, when there is a column of every hour of the day, and on the near column you can write what you're doing in every hour of this day. So please download the file in the link in the description. It doesn't have any virus, it doesn't have any bullshit that will destroy your computer, but try to do that and as be as honest as possible. Okay, don't write that at 3 p.m. you study because you said, oh, I'm gonna study at 3 p.m. If you're playing fucking video games from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., write it down. Be honest with yourself, because it will give you awareness of what you can wipe out from your daily schedule and where you can put things that are actually important for you. Once you've completed this task, we can now pass to step number 2. Step number 2 is build your week. Building your week starts with acknowledging the blocks. What are the blocks? Blocks are the activities that you have no control over and are imposed by external demands. University lectures, part-time jobs, actual full-time jobs, and sport practice are blocks. You have to follow rules imposed by the system and not by your choice. Now, open Google Calendar, and for every block that you have, create that for every day and select the option to repeat that for every week. So after you've done the exercise, your schedule will look like something like this. And also insert 15 to 30 minutes window for the commuting, so you will have a better understanding of what your windows of action actually are. Once you have acknowledged the blocks, you have to acknowledge your basic life function. What are the basic life function? Well, just wake up, go to sleep, and meal times. Once again, go on Google Calendar, insert your wake up and sleep time for the week and also for the weekend. That's because in the weekend you will likely have a different night schedule, of course. My advice is to try to be as consistent as possible with your wake up and sleep times. You know why? You watch Huberman Lab podcast about circadian rhythms and all of that shit. So you will know better than me why this is important. But try to adjust it to be as realistic as possible. Build it in order to follow it in the most rigorous manner as you possibly can. Then insert your meals depending on your habits, on your diet plan, or if you're intermittent fasting enthusiast and all of that shit. Also, if you're lucky as me and you have a beautiful and wonderful mom that prepares all of your meals for you, that's dope. That's absolutely crazy. Otherwise, I will advise you to insert some block of times, likely in the weekend on Sunday, where you can actually prepare your meals for the week, so you will not have to waste time for cooking, and you can dedicate your time and attention to something that is more important for you. After you're finished this step, your schedule will look like something like this. Phase number 3, your actual free time. Now that you have your blocks and your basic function, you will see that you will likely have free time, and a lot of free time, more than you would have thought, right? When I first started to do this exercise myself, I was surprised of how much time left I had during the day if we took out the studying and the commuting and the basic life function. You have a lot of free time likely, but you're not using it properly. How should you use your free time? If you want to be a high achiever and a high performer, you should strategize your time in alignment with your goals. Before even thinking how to use your free time, you should understand what are the priorities in your life. What do you want to achieve, actually? What is the primary goal at the moment? If you're a student, most likely your primary goal would be to graduate and passing exams. Or if you're starting a side business, the priority will be probably working on this side business. If you want to train more and become a better athlete, improve your fitness, improve all of this shit, that's also admirable, and that will be the priority, okay? If you want to give more time to your relationships, then your friends will have the priority, etc., etc. Whatever it is, write your priorities down. You can find another Word file in the one that you downloaded, when you can write down your priorities and then rank them. And create a podium of your priorities. First place, second place, third place, fourth place, etc., etc., etc. And I know that right now you would be thinking, oh, but everything is important the same manner. I want this thing is as important as this. No, it's not. Trust me, no, it's not. It's simply that you don't have clear what your real priorities are. I know that everything could look as important at the same time, but if that's what you're thinking, that everything is important at the same time, you will shatter your focus and you will not achieve anything. So do the ranking, and it's fine if you're not rank everything right at the first glance, but start to thinking what is really important for me. What is the primary thing that I should focus on in this moment of my life? Once you've ranked your priorities, you now have to establish activity blocks related to these priorities. For example, if you want to pass exams, you have to study, of course. Then you have to create 45 to 90 minutes blocks of focused work on studying. Or if you want to create an online business, you have to create business blocks of 1 hour or 1 hour and a half when you're working on that, or when you're actually starting to do the thing. If you want to become a better athlete, create training time or create free practice blocks, etc., etc. You got the idea, but understand what is the basic day-to-day activity that you have to do in order to fulfill the priority that you first established. Once you've made the priorities ranking, assign every activity in order of importance on Google Calendar, as we did with the blocks and the basic life functioning. And if you can't physically put everything in, just delete the last items of your list. Maybe now it's not a priority, or maybe it wasn't really important at all. Now your schedule will look like something like this. The last step is to assign unpredicted events. What do I mean about that? Let's say if you want to see your friends or you want to meet this new girl that you would like to ask her out. In order to be able to do that, you have to find time for people in your life that are important. So you can assign socialization or random allocation box so that you can always give time to your relationships. And when people ask you when you're free, when can we hang out, you will not start to thinking, oh well, I have to do all of this shit. You just pick up your Google Calendar, you see, okay, I'm free at this time at 2 p.m. Let's go, let's do that. You will look like more confident, and you will look like something that values his time. And this is very fascinating for people that are interacting with you. So if you still have free time, and relationships are very important, don't overlook them. Assign them in your little holes during the week, especially in the weekend when you will be likely to decompress and relax. And assign these blocks. Assign these blocks so when people ask for your time, you can actually give them a reliable answer. Now you would think, but having all of this rigid schedule wouldn't reduce my creativity, spontaneity, make me like a heartless, non-spontaneous machine? Or if I become so much dependent on my schedule, how can I insert things that I haven't planned or I haven't predicted? Here's the thing, actually it's easier to fit new stuff because you can simply invert the order of different tasks in your free time or postpone them in the next day. While if you have disorganized schedule, you have the illusion of having more freedom when in reality you're not doing block activities, you're not doing anything productive. So it will look like you have more free time, but actually you're not using your time in an intentional manner, if it makes sense. It's not that after doing a schedule you have less free time. It's that now you have a real understanding of where you want to put your time on, and you have a little bit of more constraints. But they are not constraints. These are just awareness. This is the price for awareness and understanding where your time goes. You're gaining something, you're not losing anything. And here comes the second point. The man who is not able to obey to himself will obey to his impulses. When you're scheduling something, you're basically giving advice or orders to your future self, and when the time comes, it's better to listen what your past self has told you to do, because that man will understand some shit, alright? If you don't listen to your past self, you will naturally drive towards more easier, low leverage activities that will not give you that much. You will naturally drive towards activity like I told you before, doom scrolling, video games, snacking, binge watching Netflix, or binge eating some shit, and etc, etc, etc. You want to be creative and spontaneous? Alright, don't follow my advice and keep wasting your time instead of using it in a more intentional and organized way. And honestly, if you would be spontaneous and creative, you wouldn't even watch this video, alright? Phase 4. Follow the schedule and adjust it if necessary. In this moment, you should able to successfully use your Google Calendar to manage all of your interests, all of your appointments, and the things that you haven't predicted yet, so you can find time to insert them in your busy and high-performing schedule. If you see that you're not actually doing exactly the schedule that you're doing, it's fine, okay? With time, time management is a skill, and like any skill, the more you do it, the more you become better at it. I have become pretty good at my time management, and it took me a couple of years become getting it right. Okay, so don't worry if it's not good at the first attempt. I've put a lot of effort into trying to make this guide as clear as possible and to help you to get more intentional with the use of your time. Now it's only on you. Time is the most precious resource that we have, and it's damn limited. Once you realize how much limited our time is, you will start to treat it like your most precious asset. You will start treat your time like gold, because that's what actually your time is. Please use it to build something great. Aim upward and keep searching for strength.